Box plots give us a way to look at fourths of the data. We also call those quartiles. So from every dot to dot, it's 25% of your data set. So another 25% here, another 25% here, and another 25% here. So we call this, the part in the box right here, the middle 50%. And you don't see these plots very often, but they're actually used quite a lot in data gathering. For example, if you look at the admission scores for the University of Texas, you'll find that their middle 50% SAT score was between 1160 and 1390. You can see on our graph that this would be the 1160 and this would be our 1390 because it says our middle 50%. So that would be right here. We don't know what our low score is and we don't know what their high score is. We know that 25% were below 1160 and we know that 25% were above 1390. But we know for sure that the middle 50% were between those two scores. In the same way, we know the middle 50% ACT score was 26 to 33. We don't know our median, which would have been right there, but we do know that half of the students fall between 26 and 33. Making a box plot helps you see the distribution of scores. The scores listed here are from a recent test, so let's make a box plot. The first thing you have to do is put your scores in order from least to greatest. Once the data is in order, you can cross off high and low pairs until you come to the median of the data. Once we crossed off the pairs, we come down to either one or two numbers, in this case 2. So we know between 92 and 92 is simply 92. So there is our median. We also call this our quartile 2, and we call it that because it's 2 out of 4 quartiles. Now your data is split into two pieces, a lower half and an upper half. So you want to find the median of each half. So let's start with this lower half right here. We're going to cross out in pairs again until we actually come to the middle of this data. Again, we ended up with two numbers. Sometimes you'll have one, sometimes you'll have two. Between 84 and 86 is 85. We actually call that quartile 1 or Q1, and it's the median of our lower half. Now let's find the median of our upper half. Doing the same thing. Cross out in pairs until you come to the middle number, or middle two numbers in this case, and this is 95, and it's our quartile 3. We need 5 pieces of information. So besides our 3 quartiles, we need our upper extreme, which we call our max, and our lower extreme, which we call our min, or minimum and maximum. Now we have 5 pieces of information that we can put on our box plot. First thing we'll need to do is to draw a number line. Once we have our number line, we're ready to put in our 5 dots, our minimum of 72, our quartile 1 of 85, our median of 92, our quartile 3 of 95, and our maximum of 100. Put a box around the middle section and a line through the median, and then you can attach a line to the last dot. That's why it used to be called Box-and-Whisker. Each of the sections has 25% of the data in it. That's why 50% of the students scored between an 85 and a 95. We know that 25% of the students were 95 or above. We know 25% of the students were between 72 and 85. Box-and-Whisker plots, or box plots, give us an idea of range, how spread out our data is. So our range here is actually 28. But we have a new range, it's called our inner quartile range, and it's between 85 and 95, our Q3 minus our Q1. So our inner quartile range, the range of the middle 50% here, would be 95 minus 85, would give you 10 points. You can tell a lot of information from a box plot. For example, the lowest score would be the number down here on the left, and of course the highest score would be your maximum up here, 100, the last dot on the right. The median score for the test is right here in the middle, and you can see that that was a 92. That means the middle score. What percent of students scored between 85 and 95? So here's 85 and 95, and remember, everything in the box is the middle 50%. So we would say 50% are between 85 and 95. So if we wanted to know what percent of students were in 85 or above, we would take that 50% plus the upper 25%. So 75% of the students were above an 85. The inner quartile range is your Q3 minus your Q1, so it would be 95 minus 85, and your IQR or inner quartile range would be 10.